Oh, wait, hold off. We're not ready yet. Clerk needs a minute. Get your what?
I've only got my ones.
You need this? Office today.
It was on. It's too cold in my room. Too cold, too hot. It's the season of too cold and too hot.
Yeah, but yes, exactly.
All right, good afternoon, East Hampton Town Board. We're live on 22. We're streaming to YouTube. Phone lines are open. You guys are being recorded, and you may begin your meeting.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the East Hampton Town Board meeting of Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Carol, if you could please read the roll call.
Councilmember Flight,
Present.
Councilmember Lease,
Present.
Councilmember Rogers,
Present.
Councilmember Calder Piedmont,
Present.
Supervisor Burke Gonzalez.
Present. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So tonight we have 10 public hearings. I won't go through them as the clerk will be reading the notices for each. That will be followed by public portion and then resolutions. We ask when you come up to speak to kindly keep your comments to 3 minutes. What we do before we start is we have our town historian here tonight, Hugh King. Welcome, Hugh.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Last time I talked about a stalwart of Amagansett, Josephine Kraske, who passed away. Well, another stalwart has passed away, Helen Rattray. Okay? Now, Helen Rattray was appointed the associate editor of the paper in 1976. And why that's important, because it was the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Well, few people issued more declarations of independence than Helen Rattray when she was running that paper, the Star. She was the chief editor from 1980 to 2003. She continued the strong tradition of strong, independent journalism upheld by her husband, Everett Rattray, and her mother-in-law, Jeanette Edwards Rattray. That some of the journalists who worked at the Star will go on to work at the New York Times, NPR, and the Baltimore Sun. She was inducted into the Press Club of Long Island's Journalism Hall of Fame in 2017. But here's what's important about Helen. She suffered errors, whether of omission or commission, innocent or incompetent, badly. Let me repeat that. She suffered errors, whether of omission or commission, innocent or incompetent, badly. Okay? Now, the day the paper was ready to go to press, those on the second floor would listen to Helen's footsteps coming up the stairs to the second floor and could tell by the sounds of her steps what was going to happen. And don't listen to Jack Graves bragging that he worked at the Star for over 40 years, because he turned his hearing aids off when Helen was on the prowl, okay? And there were over 100 people at Batchwa Hall, even more than that, at her memorial service the other day. So if nobody else dies, I'm going to come back next time and talk about Bill Jacobs, one of the police chiefs. We've gotten away from that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our public hearings. Carol, if you could read the first meeting notice.
The public hearings will be held live and in person by the town board and will be available electronically by video and teleconferencing, and will be televised on local TV channel 22 and available for live stream on the LTV website. The public shall be permitted to appear in person, but may also provide comments on the matter by being heard by calling 351-888-6331. Any person or party wishing to be heard with respect to the foregoing may do so in person, by agent, by attorney, or by teleconference to the live meeting, or by written comment addressed to the East Hampton Town Clerk, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, New York. And comments may also be submitted to the town clerk by email to cbrennan@ehamptonny.gov. All comments must be received by the town clerk by the date and time of the public hearing. Please check the meeting agenda posted on the town's website for any changes and for updated information. Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on May 1st at 6 p.m. or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard in the town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, to consider the funding of the repurchase of a house currently owned by the estate of James P. Daly, located at 82 Boat Wasman Road in East Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 300-144.1164, in order to maintain the property in the town's affordable housing program at a cost to the town of $578,120. The acquisition cost being determined pursuant to the formula contained in the covenants and restrictions filed with the subdivision. The property, once required, will be resold to a qualified affordable housing participant. The funds utilized will be the Community Housing Fund budget account CH 8988-52703.
Thank you, Carol. So there's no one signed up for this public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board on this public hearing? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Carol, if you could please read the second meeting notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing in the town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, pursuant to section 247 of the general municipal law and section 64E8 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st at 6 p.m. or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the town's acquisition for the preservation of open space with community preservation funds of a property located at 351 Old Stone Highway Springs, reputedly owned by Jerry P. Keeler and Peter J. Keeler, and consisting of approximately 5.4 acres of developed land at a cost to the town of East Hampton not to exceed $1,750,000, plus reasonable survey, title, prorated tax, and recording charges, said property being described on the Suffolk County tax map as 38365.
Thank you, Carol. Scott, did you want to introduce this?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So the property on your screen that you're looking at outlined in blue is the property in question. This is almost where Old Stone meets Louse Point Road, that sort of triangle there in the corner. This is actually a property I've been.
Scott, you may want to move that mic back in front of you.
Sure.
I think I disturbed it, I'm sorry.
No problem. This is a property I've actually been periodically on and off trying to acquire since I first started here in January of 2006. So we've taken several tries to work with the landowners to acquire, and just recently they've agreed to sell, and we've struck a deal, and this is what I'm here to talk about. It was an excellent candidate then, as it is now, and both the CPF Advisory Board and the Planning Department support the preservation of this property. This property has extensive freshwater wetlands with some standing water. I don't know if you can quite see it here, but this entire dark area, both under the green and across this entire property right out to the street, is one large wetland in the center. Actually, it has some standing water on it. The wetlands flow from the eastern parcel through the subject property into Acaponic Harbor. Any of you who drive or live in this area know this is a flood-prone area, and wetlands absorb and store floodwaters and improve water quality. Redevelopment of this parcel will have a negative impact on the wetlands and the water quality of Acaponic. Conversely, removal of structures would increase protection of this wetland and the harbor. This parcel is adjacent to other protected lands, and across the street are adjacent to the Harbor Protection Overlay District, the Acaponic Harbor, significant coastal fish and wildlife habitat, a critical environmental area, Peconic Estuary Program critical natural resources area, a scenic area of statewide significance, and DEC tidal wetlands. This parcel meets the criteria set forth in Town Law 64E, and as such, I would ask the board to pass a resolution to acquire.
Thank you, Scott. So I don't have anyone signed up for this public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
Hi, this is Jason. There's one person on the line. I just wanted to make sure that there was something noted for record. We had one small glitch on our broadcast. The channel went dark for a second, then to the wrong meeting, and then back here we fixed it. But I just want to make sure that was noted, but the YouTube and the record itself are still fine. We have one caller on the line, and I'll let them through right now.
Thank you.
Caller 4221, you are on the air.
Thank you. Good evening, Town Board. This is Jane Nearing, resident of Amagansett. I'm speaking as an individual citizen, not speaking as a member of or on behalf of any town-appointed board. Back on September 5th, 2024, this board had a public hearing regarding a proposed CPF acquisition of 0.45 acre parcel. Address was 91 Northwest Landing Road. That lot had 1,000 square foot 1940s fisherman cottage on it. That, as part of the acquisition, was required to be demolished. So I didn't speak at the public hearing. I did offer some comments at the public portion that followed that evening, and I raised the concept that perhaps demolition of viable housing immediately as a condition of CPF acquisition shouldn't be the automatic presumption or requirement. So this evening, as part of this public hearing, I would like to reiterate that idea. I note that the resolution 2025-574 indicates, quote, as part of the negotiation, the structures will be removed at seller's expense, returning parcel back to the natural state. You know, I think a lot of people know, I love a natural state. But here we have a 5.7 acre property and a small 1,500 square foot modest house close to the road that doesn't really seem to impact open space or natural state. So again, I just, as part of this public hearing, I want to respectfully raise the same premise. Can our town find a way to bring CHF and CPF together creatively on houses like this? Why not upgrade sanitary systems or renovate the house? You're not going to have big development, and place it in perpetual affordable housing stock. You know, not that long ago, we heard Katie Casey describe the thousands of people who are, quote, her clients. We know how many people are on waiting lists. So I ask, shouldn't every housing possibility be considered for affordable housing. And I was most inspired by Councilman Lease when he spoke not that long ago at a Suffolk County hearing regarding the 72H parcels, where he said, I think I'm paraphrasing, every one affordable housing unit we create is one more than what we have now. That's meaningful, that resonated with me. So I really believe there are creative solutions. There's always time to demolish, but once it's gone, it's gone. And then bottom line, I do support this CPF acquisition, and thank you for acquiring this property.
Thank you, Jane. Jason, is there anyone else on the line?
We have no callers on the line at this time.
Okay, Matthew, you're back.
I am back, yes.
Hey, good. All right, so do I have a motion to close?
Motion to close?
Second, all in favor? Aye. Carol, if you could please read the third meeting notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 1st at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard to consider all the comments in relationship to the proposed construction of improvements to the sanitation building at an estimated maximum cost of $250,000, acquisition of a trommel at an estimated cost of $445,000, acquisition of radiological detectors at an estimated cost of $91,500, and the construction of drainage improvements at the sanitation building at an estimated cost of $300,000, all for the use by the East Hampton Garbage and Refuse District. The estimated total cost hereof is $1,086,500.
Thank you, Carol. Is there anyone here that would like to address the board on this matter? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers at this time.
I have a motion to close.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Carol, if you could please read the fourth meeting notice.
Take notice that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on May 1st at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard in the Town Board Meeting Room, Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, to hear comments of the public on the adoption of an updated first-time home buyers down payment assistance program, an abstract of which follows. The first-time home buyer down payment assistance program provides loans of up to $30,000 on a first-come, first-served basis to the extent of available funds totaling $600,000 for 2025 from the Community Housing Fund towards the down payment on the purchase of a one-family, two-family house, townhouse, or condominium medium maximum sales price limitations currently are not more than $1,768,500 to purchasers who meet eligibility requirements, which include, among other criteria, that the purchasers maintain the property for their sole legal residence for the life of the loan and meet stated income and credit criteria. Loans are not subject to interest and require no monthly payments and are due and payable upon the future sale of the property. Copies of the proposed updated first-time homebuyers down payment assistance program are on file in the town clerk's office and are available for review Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4, exclusive of holidays, and are also available on the town's website.
Thank you, Carol. Would anyone like to address the board on this public hearing? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carol, if you could please read the fifth meeting notice.
Take notice that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 64E6 and 112(4) of the Town Law of the State of New York on May 1st, 6 p.m., Town Board Meeting Room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or as soon thereafter as this matter may be heard to consider the following: awarding a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. The project sponsor is South Fork Sea Farmers, support of Oyster Reef Building Project in 3 Mile Harbor for the Shell Washer Conveyor and Tumbler to improve operations and quality of reef sites. It's wastewater treatment improvement, and the funding award is $46,000.
Thank you. Would anyone like to address the board on this? Kathleen?
Just very briefly, I'm Kathleen Masters. On behalf of the South Fork Sea Farmers, we just really want to thank you for your support, both for this grant and for the reef building program, which we think it represents. So this will make our lives a whole lot easier in terms of putting the reefs in, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kathleen.
And we can answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're up to the 6th meeting notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 64E6 and 112.4 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st at 6 p.m. The town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: awarding of a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. The sponsor is DNR Family Realty Group, LLC. It's an installation of an innovative alternative sanitary system to upgrade the existing septic system serving the 2,130-gallon PD flow at the restaurant located at 28 Maidstone Park Road, East Hampton, currently operating as Rita Katina. It's a water treatment improvement, and the funding award is $70,038.
Thank you, Carol. Would anyone like to address the board on this public hearing? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, the 7th meeting notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 64E6 and 112.4 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st, 6 p.m. Town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: awarding of a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. The sponsor is the Village of Sag Harbor. Its engineering and design costs associated with the expansion of the Sewer Shed L sewer service area to include Sag Harbor schools. It's a wastewater treatment improvement, and the funding award is $31,900.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone like to address the board on this public hearing? Matthew?
We have no callers.
Okay.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're up to the 8th meeting notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 64E6 and 112.4 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st at 6 p.m. The town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: awarding of a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. The sponsor, Daniel Bennett of Frieden Fleece LLC, Springs General Store. It's the installation of an IA upgrade to serve the Springs General Store with a flow of 562 gallons per day to replace the existing conventional septic system. It's a water treatment improvement project. The funding award of $131,567.
Thank you. Would anyone like to comment on this public hearing? Matthew?
No callers at this time.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, the 9th meeting notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to 64E6 and 112.4 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st at 6 p.m. in the town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or as soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard, to consider the following: awarding of a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. The sponsor is Treescape at East Hampton Condominiums. It's for the installation of an IA upgrades to serve 24 units on 2 properties at the Treescape condominiums with a total flow of 7,200 gallons per day. Wastewater treatment improvement, and the funding award of $327,273.
Thank you, Carol. Sean? Welcome, Sean.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me. I'd like to thank the board for reviewing this matter. Just a few
You
points.
could just state your name for the record for the
Excuse me.
clerk.
Sean O'Neill, President of Bridgewater Environmental Services. And yeah, so we'll be the project manager on this project if awarded. Just some notes on this. It's located, the Treescapes Condominium Complex is located within East Hampton Water Quality Protection District, about a quarter-mile from nearby 3 Mile Harbor. Additionally, the property is within a high priority area of the Suffolk County Subwatersheds Plan for drinking water protection. One of the alarming statistics in this area, monitoring wells have monitored up to 9.3 milligrams per liter in drinking water wells in this area, which approaches the maximum contamination load of 10 milligrams per liter. The state has listed this as a critical environmental area, so it's a state critical environmental area specifically for drinking water and groundwater recharge. We anticipate a 82% reduction in nitrogen pollution from replacing the conventional system with a clustered IA system. Lastly, I would just like to point out that it specifically addresses the East Hampton watershed study of nearby 3 Mile Harbor for residential cesspool and septic system upgrades to systems with nutrient removal. You can find that on page 24. And I'd be happy to answer any questions the town board may have on this project.
Thank you, Sean. Would anyone else like to address the board on this grant award? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
No callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Carol, the last and final public hearing notice, please.
Take notice that the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing pursuant to section 64E6 and 112.4 of the town law of the state of New York on May 1st, 6 p.m. in the town board meeting room, East Hampton Town Hall, 159 Panago Road, East Hampton, or soon thereafter as this matter may be heard to consider the following: awarding of a grant funding for a water quality improvement project. Sponsor is Clear Bays Environmental. It's for the design and installation of an enhanced wetland restoration project at the headwaters of Hog Creek to stabilize an eroding shoreline and provide groundwater nitrogen reduction benefits to Hog Creek, to non-point source pollution reduction and habitat restoration, the funding award of $91,328.
Thank you. Would anyone like to address the board on this grant application? Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
No callers on the line.
Motion to close?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to our public portion. Carol, is anyone signed up for that? No? Okay. Would anyone like to address the board on any matters? Did you want to address the board?
We emailed.
Okay. Matthew, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers.
Okay, so we're going to move on to resolutions. Tom, please.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. Resolution 2025-634 is approval of claims on warrant number 5A in the amount of $3,163,106.50 and in the amount of $63,898 respectively were audited by the town board, and supervisors hereby directed to pay the same.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. It's my privilege to offer Resolution 2025-635. This is appropriation of aquaculture reserve, and this would be for increasing appropriation of reserves in the amount of $500 and increase the chemicals and supplies in the amount of $500.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
636, appoint seasonal lifeguards in the Recreation Department March and April of 2025, retroactive to the following dates listed below for the names, positions, and pay scales.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. And the short sign of summer, 637, appoint seasonal lifeguards to the Recreational Department May 2025. This is effective May 18th, 2025 for the names, positions, pay scales here, and there are nearly 3 pages of lifeguards.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. 638, appoint seasonal employees in the Recreational Department effective May 18th, 2025, names, positions, pay scales listed below.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. 639 is appoint seasonal employees in the Parks Department, effective the following dates listed below, the names, positions, pay scales, and the dates effective listed below.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. 640 is appoint to full-time custodial worker 1, Amada Asensio Martez, and she will be at an hourly rate of $24.94 with a base salary of $51,883.73, grade 15, starting step, effective May 4th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
641 is appoint to full-time custodial worker 1, Juana Garcia. She is now hereby appointed to the full-time position of custodial worker 1 in the Parks Department, hourly rate of $24.94 with the annual salary of $51,883.73, grade 15, starting step for a 40-hour work week, effective May 4th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
642 is appoint to full-time custodial worker 1, Yeni Aponte Recorte. And this again, hereby appointed to the full-time position of custodial worker 1 in the Parks Department, an hourly rate of $24.94 with an annual salary of $51,883.73, grade 15, starting step for a 40-hour work week, effective May 4th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
643 is reimburse Assistant Town Attorney John C. Jilnicki for recording fees. And this is in pursuant to Resolution 2022-1157 with the Town of East Hampton and entered an agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers to deepen and widen the Montauk Inlet. This amount of the reimbursement is the total check for $2,700.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. 644 is notice of bidders for EH 25-019. This is for surplus oyster seed sale for 2025. The bid is available May 1st, 2025. The bid is due back on May 22nd, 2025. Any questions, please contact our purchasing department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
645 is a joint fuel facility fuel management system. This is a bid for EH 25-014. The bid is available May 1st, 2025. The bid is due back on May 29th, 2025. Any questions or concerns, please contact our purchasing department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. 646 is the amendment resolution 2025-629. This is for Charles O'Connell. He is hereby appointed to the full-time position of Assistant Recreational Leader at an hourly rate of $25.09, grade 15, starting step, retroactive to April 20th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. 2025-647 is a permissive referendum. This is actually authorized access easement and or license agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers for town-owned properties located near Montauk Inlet for the Montauk Inlet dredging project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have Resolution 648. This is a notice of public hearing to amend Town Code Chapter 255-141E1, Personal Wireless Facilities, Tier 1, and 255-141N2C, Application Approval Procedure Batching. And please be advised that the Town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on May, wait a second.
May 15.
Yeah, I'd like to amend this resolution. The public hearing will be held on May 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The full text of the code changes are listed below.
Second as amended?
Can I just call for discussion? Jake, since this is a zoning code change, is that enough notice, 2 weeks, or is this where we have to go to the following month?
Okay, so great.
So second,
So,
original date?
then the first meeting is June 5th.
So I'd like to amend Resolution 648 that the Town Board of the Town of East Hampton will hold this public hearing on June
5th.
5th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Second as amended?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm just making that note.
So what's also going to change is when you're going to notice it in the Star. Carol, could you just make? Okay, good.
Okay, Resolution 649, this is to schedule a public hearing and notice of public hearing for Bendigo Beach LLC, grant of scenic and conservation easement. And this is where the town board will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m. concerning the following grant of a scenic and conservation easement to the Town of East Hampton. This is, the grantor is Bendigo Beach LLC. The location is 2 Bendigo Road, Amagansett, and the reviewing agency is the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 650 is for a notice of public hearing for a grant of scenic and conservation easement. Please notice that the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m. concerning the following grant of a scenic and conservation easement to the town of East Hampton. The grantor is Jason and Ashley Libath, and the location is 15 Bay Inlet Road, Springs. The reviewing agency is the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 651 is to accept a grant of scenic and conservation easement, and this is where a public hearing was held on April 17th, 2025, on a proposed grant of a scenic and conservation easement to the town, whereas acceptance of the scenic easement as submitted and heard is hereby found to be in the best interest of the town. Resolved that the town hereby accepts the scenic easement, listed below. The grantor is Paul Kenyon. The location is 114 South Etna Avenue, Montauk, and the reviewing agency is the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 652 is to accept a road widening easement in URP 60A and 60B in EH2A. And whereas according to the town adopted urban renewal plans covering lot layout improvements, whereas said plan calls for the submission of easements by certain property owners to the town for the purpose of permitting widening and other improvements to specific roads in the subdivision, resolved that the town board approves and accepts the easement listed below. The grantor is GV at Mulford Avenue, LLC. It's John Quinn at 102 Duck Pond Road in Glen Cove. The parcel is urban renewal parcel 60A and 60B in EH-2. The road names are Mulford Avenue and Woodlot Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 653 is to accept security and undertaking from Pateris Dezenis in Urban Renewal Parcel 101 in MN2. And again, this is where the urban renewal laws, the town board, and urban renewal plans governing the development of old filed maps within the town, whereas the listed undertaking and security listed below have been received by council to the planning board and council to the town board and approved. Resolved that the undertaking together with the following security are hereby accepted by the town. It's Pateris Dezenis, care of East End Land Planning, and the parcel is at map 1690, block 362, lot 3, urban renewal parcel 101 and MN-101, located at 42 Surfside Avenue, and the security is in the amount of $15,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 654 is to waive architectural review board fees for Phoenix House, whereas Phoenix House is a not-for-profit organization which leases property from the town of East Hampton, and they are proposing exterior renovations which require approval from the ARB, whereas the application fees are required to review the proposed exterior renovations. Be it resolved that the town board waives the ARB fees for the exterior renovations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 655 is a payout upon resignation for Daniel Gross. This is where Daniel Gross has resigned from his full-time position as senior planner with the planning department effective March 26, 2025, and audited time records indicate that he has accrued vacation time balance and a compensatory balance of time. Therefore, be it resolved that the finance office be authorized to cut a check through payroll for the appropriate budget account for vacation time, compensatory time, a refund and overpayment of dental, vision, and contributions, and minus a refund, and for a refund and overpayment of medical contributions less and overuse of personal time for a gross total of $6,235.26.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 656 is a notice of proposal EH 2025-104. This is Sustainable Planning in Coastal Communities, Risk Reduction, Revitalization, and Restoration, New York State New York State Department of State contract number C100 2612, proposal available May 8th, 2025, and the proposal is due on June 5th, 2025. For further information, if you have any questions, please call 631-324-4183 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 657 is amend Planning Board Personal Wireless Service Facilities Fees. Whereas pursuant to Town Code Section 255-920, the Town Board may, by resolution, establish and amend fees for applications and services provided by the Town Boards, including the Planning Board fees for personal wireless personal wireless service facilities, applications, and institute new fees for the same. Whereas pursuant to Resolution 2023-166, fees were amended for the Planning Board, PWSF applications and reviewed, but failed to include a right-of-way access fee. Now therefore be it resolved that the fee for the right-of-way access shall be $270 per year and shall be effective the day following the adoption of this resolution by the Town Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll have an amendment for Resolution 658. This is the approval of various special events for May 2025. Resolved that the following special event permits are hereby approved with the conditions agreed upon by the reviewing committee. The first is the Animal Rescue Fund of the Hamptons, ARF Hampton's Pet Celebration Day at 124 Daniels Hall Road, East Hampton, Saturday, 5/17/2025, 11 a.m. through 2 p.m. And for the second one, the next one, for the Friends of Erin Montauk Music Festival, I'd like to withdraw that, that paragraph about that event. The next event is Springs Improvement Society, Springs Farmers Market at Ashawa Hall. These are on 20 Saturdays ranging from 5/17/25 through 9/27/25, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next is Leo Daunt Chamber of Commerce, Montauk's Farmers Market on the Montauk Green. This will run 17 Thursdays, 5/22 through 9/11, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., 3 Fridays, 9/19/25 through 10/3/25 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Saturday 10/11/25, and Sunday 10/12/25. That's 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. as part of the annual Fall Fest. The next one is Devon Yacht Club Annual Dinner Dance for the Commodore's Ball, Devon Yacht Club in Amagansett. This will take place on Saturday, July 27th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Second as amended.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to withdraw Resolution 659.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 660, this is notice of a public hearing to amend Chapter 225, Taxation of the East Hampton Town Code to add Article 9, Exemption for East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue and Auxiliary Squad. A public hearing will be held on May 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 661, this is a permissive referendum to revise terms of sale for affordable housing sale, 50 Thomas Avenue. Whereas the town's land lease did not meet Sony May's updated requirements for mortgage lending, and the town has determined that the best way to proceed with the sale of the premises to the participant is to utilize a fee title transfer by deed with covenants contained in a deed similar to those provided under the town's affordable housing land leases. The town is hereby authorizes the transfer of the town portion, the land underlying premises, to Raymond Sharon.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 662, this is to accept bid EH 25009, 19 Joshua Edwards Court roof and door replacement, Conlon Exteriors, Inc. The bid of Conlon Exteriors, Inc. is hereby accepted for a total cost of $26,850.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 663, this is to retain counsel for 2025, Law Office of San, Ward, Colens and Coscagnano, PLLC, Affordable Housing. And this is for independent review of the town's affordable housing transactions and at a cost in the amount of $325 per hour.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 664, this is to retain accounting technical assistance, Office of Housing and Community Development, in the amount of $130 per hour, not to exceed $10,400.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 665, this is a budget modification for the Community Housing Fund. We're increasing the transfer tax in the amount of $500,000, increasing the expenditure budget line for grants in the amount of $500,000, decreasing budget line for loans in the amount of $1 million, and increasing the budget line for grants in the amount of $1 million.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 666, this is to authorize transfer from Section 8 operating reserves in the amount of $10,400 for the Section 8 operating reserve to outside professional.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have Resolution 2025-667, and that's to retain David Grill Esquire and the law firm of Rifkin Radler LLP as outside counsel for construction-related matters for 2025 in an amount not to exceed $25,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
668 is to retain professional engineering services for LK McLean Associates for an emergency generator for the airport. Professional services include design, permitting, bid assistance, construction administration, and inspection services, as well as the designing of a manual transfer switch and outdoor inlet box at the airport fuel farm. And this is in an amount not to exceed $47,000.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 669 is to promote Gregory Martin to police captain in the East Hampton Town Police Department. The Suffolk County Department of Human Resources, Personnel, and Civil Service has given an examination for captain, and Gregory Martin is reachable on said list. Chief Michael Sarlo has presented a recommendation to the town board to promote Gregory Martin to the position of police captain. The town board has discussed this promotion and supports the recommendation of Chief Sarlo. Greg Martin is hereby appointed to the position of police captain in the East Hampton Town Police Department at the annual salary of $211,467.44, effective May 4th, 2025. And congratulations, Captain Martin.
Second and second that sentiment.
All in favor?
Aye.
670 is to appoint student intern 2 to the finance department, and this is for Sadie Kober at the hourly rate of $20 per hour, effective May 10th through August 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
671 is a provisional appointment to account clerk for Jessica Claflin, and this is at an annual salary of $56,339.71 for a 40-hour work week, effective May 5th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
672 is to increase the cap for Kaplan Kirsch LLP for 2025, and this is for airport matters, and this is in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
673 is to authorize a payment to Rifkin Radler. A 2025 invoice had included a time entry for 2024 totaling $351.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
674 is a fingerprint reimbursement, and this is for Joseph Chacho and Jordan Diaz, and they shall be reimbursed $178.50 each.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
675 is a budget modification for the airport, and this is pursuant to Resolution 2025-228. The Town of East Hampton authorized an application for a grant covering 100% of expenses directly related to the airport PFAS investigation from Environmental Facilities Corporation with funds from the bipartisan infrastructure law through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program. The town needs to enter informal agreements to perform the necessary work. So we direct the budget office to make the following budget modification: increase revenue account code, Clean Water State Revolving Fund in the amount of $936,000, and increase expenditure account for outside professional in the same amount.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
676 is a budget modification for the town attorney for the B fund, and we're increasing the revenue line for safety inspections for $65,000, and we're increasing the expenditure line for outside professional in the same amount.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
677 is to amend Resolution 2025-608 to correct the title of Charles Collins. He is Senior Assistant Town Attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
678 is a payout for a change of position for Joseph Chacho. Joseph Chacho has changed positions from Traffic Control Specialist to Public Safety Dispatcher 1 with the East Hampton Town Police Department. Audited time records indicate that he has an accrued vacation time balance and accrued compensatory time. So the Finance Office is authorized authorized to cut a check for a gross total of $7,878.29.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
679 is a payout for a change of position for Timothy English. Timothy English has changed positions from assessment aide to public safety dispatcher 1 with the East Hampton Town Police Department. Audited time records indicate he has accrued vacation time and accrued compensatory time. So the finance office is authorized to cut a check for a gross total of $3,176.76.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 680. Sorry, my page is stuck together, is payout upon retirement for Wayne Mata. Wayne Mata has retired from his full-time position as a police sergeant with the East Hampton Town Police Department effective March 29th, 2025. Audited time records indicate he has accrued vacation time balance of 37 days, accrued sick time balance of 180 days, and an accrued personal time balance of 5 days. The finance office is authorized to issue a check for a gross total of $165,919.40 payable to Wayne Mata as a final payout. And I just want to thank Sergeant Mata for his years of dedication to our community.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
681 is a notice to bidders EH 25023. It's for electric equipment replacement on Marine Patrol vessel. The bid's available May 8th and due back May 22nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2025-682 is a bond in the amount of $65,000 to demo structures on town-owned land. 2024, the town issued bonds in the principal amount of $4 million to finance the acquisition of real property in the town consisting of approximately 7 acres of a 14-acre parcel located off Abraham's Path in Amagansett. That's the former Cabaz property, and we're talking about the property in the front. It was determined that it is in the best interest of the town to demolish the existing structures located on that property at a cost not to exceed $160,000. So we need to bond an additional $65,000 in order to move forward.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please, Carol?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 2025-683 is a notice to bidders EH 25024 for mobile food concessions for select beaches for 2025. The bid is available May 8th and due back May 22nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's all the resolutions we have for today. Is there anything else board members would like to bring up? Okay, so do I have a motion to go into exec session?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for leases.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.